Welcome to Dynamite Download.
What's up, everybody?
It's Sunday, and we are here. The team Dynamite Download, we got SPD, Crayfish here. We just finished watching the AEW Women's Tournament Special Edition Show 3 officially.
Sure.
And a lot happened, man. That was an exciting finish to the show, and we can't wait to see the U.S. side final tomorrow.
Yeah, and I know that there was a lot of issues for some people out there to watch this. I had no issue with Bleacher Report. Things went perfectly smooth on my stream. Logged in, watched it, no problem whatsoever. So that said, I know that there were some folks out there scrambling. So we hope that you guys were able to catch up with everything. Once Tony, the master booker that he is, was able to share this for free on YouTube. So he's doing all he can to get this out there for all you fans. Needless to say, your Dukes of Dynamite are here to save the day. We're going to catch you up on everything that happened, anything you might have missed. We saw it all. SPD, this week in particular, this is a great start to the week because there's so much AEW content. You and I were talking about it earlier in the day. It's just absolutely amazing. Every single day this week, except other than one day, has something for us AEW fans, and that is just so cool. They are really immersing the AEW fan base in so many options to get your hands on great AEW content. Whether it's Bleacher Report or YouTube, whether it's Dynamite, whether it's Dark, I can't wait.
Or Dynamite Download.
Or Dynamite Download, baby. You can get it, and you can get it. I love what we have in store. And the lead up to Revolution, I am beaming ear to ear. I cannot wait for that show. It's going to be a phenomenal show.
I mean, I was just trying to break it down, and tomorrow we have the women's final, which we know Thunder Rosa versus Nyla Rose is going to be an outstanding battle.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
We'll talk about later, which we have a ton to say about that. Plus, we have the Road 2, which they always do a great job with that.
I love
beforehand. We also have BTE. Tuesday, we got a Stack Dark. Plus, those who tune into Sammy's vlog. Wednesday, of course, Dynamite. Wednesday night, Dynamite Download, episode 24 right here.
Of course.
Thursday, which you'll see more of Dynamite Download clips and all of that going on.
Friday, they got another episode of Dark, from what I hear.
Yeah, Friday, rumor has it there is another Dark, plus a Friday Night Flights and Fights.
Which is must-see content now.
Must-see stuff. We're going to do a full must-see. Full Revolution preview show this Friday on our show live at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube. So make sure to tune in for that. And I think Saturday is the only real thing that nothing is scheduled as of now for Dynamite. But they always throw in some stuff. They're going to steal this week for sure for all of us. But speaking of stealing everything, let's dive right into it. We saw the first match of the night, which was the 6-woman tag match straight from Japan, featuring our resident champion Hikaru Shida on one side, and she took the victory as she should. It was a strong finish for her, needed to going into Revolution. This was a big key difference. What we've themed throughout this whole tournament is that you notice that the entrances are drawn out much longer on the Japanese side. There's much more showmanship, much more
pomp and circumstance. Yes,
yeah, there's
absolutely.
A lot. And props to Tommy. Tommy and Justin Roberts. They're a good 1-2 announce team punch for sure. And
yes,
even though we don't know what he's saying, he definitely hype up the show for sure.
Yes,
but the standouts of this, other than Shida. Obviously, I love the battle between Emmy and Shida and how they kept saying teacher versus student. I love that. And that would be a fun feud down the line. I think you're still on the same page. I think whoever wins this tournament is going to dethrone Shida. And then this could be a nice new feud if you have Emmy come over here to the U.S., which we've seen before, and then feud with Hikaru Shida and have a new champ feud with someone else. And so forth. So that way you can really branch out this.
Gives Shida something to instantly transition to so that she's not lost. And because we want her, we want to see Shida more. That's always been something that we've talked about with her title reign. Shida is consistently just an absolute home run anytime they have her in the ring. And if you're able to segue her into a natural story like that, especially with a veteran, I got to say, I know Brian Cage mentioned Tony should sign all 6 of these competitors, and he's not alone. There's a lot of positive buzz on social for this one. I will say I am with you. Emi Sakura, she really has throughout this tournament reminded me, like, man, I dig her stuff. I dig her style. I know that, like, everybody was chiming in for this one. Everybody was loving Maki Ito, right? Everybody loves themselves some Maki Ito. For me, I left this one saying, one, obviously, I think that Shida is impressive, a really impressive competitor. But I really liked Emi. I thought that Emi, her veteran presence, she kind of has, and maybe it's just my bias for my in-ring work. I like when my fights feel like a fight. I love that, like that intensity. I'm a kind of an FTR, old school kind of guy, and Emi certainly was bringing that in this match. She was more than happy to slow the pace down, get a little physical, and some of the showmanship, some of the over-the-top, pomp and circumstance that comes with some of the larger than life characters that were in this one
for sure
was slowed down. And I dig that. I dig that as a fan. Now everybody's different. Everybody has different tastes. But when I saw Emi and Shida go head to head in this one, I wanted more of that. That said, I'll tell you, SPD, we've talked about Veni. I think that we were impressed the first round that we saw her. Taz was jumping on the bandwagon in this one. You could tell Taz was impressed by sort of her size, I apologize if I'm using the wrong pronoun, because I know that, like, I want to make sure that I'm mindful of that. But, Veni is someone who certainly I feel like stood out in a good way throughout this women's tournament. The spotlight has certainly highlighted the potential of that down the road. And then I will also say on the Shida side of things, Segura is someone who I was more impressed by, sort of her pushing the pace, and that was something that I felt like carried this match in a lot of ways. She had a lot of nice moves in this one, that kind of the springboard moonsault. I was a big fan of that. I was impressed by the overall flow and structure of this match, given that it was a 6-person tag. Those can sometimes, we see it on Dynamite, sometimes those can be absolutely incredible, and sometimes those can go off the rails. And I thought that these women navigated that pretty well, and the Shida getting the pinfall victory was exactly what needed to happen.
Yeah, and it was noted, and you could visibly see it. It is much smaller ring too. So for a 6-person tag match, it is a lot less real estate to be running around. A 16x16 ring versus a 20x20 that's used here in the US. That is a lot of extra space. And I agree with you, man. That Shida had some. It took her a while to get her in the ring because they were focusing more on the other competitors. And when she finally did, she had this triple move in the corner where she suplexed someone into all 3 competitors, which was great. And it was a cool homage, when Emi and Shida were doing like the tilt-a-whirl backbreakers, like they're mimicking each other. It was awesome. And then they're going face to face, and then they would do it again. And so I love that part. But as you said, Veni really was a standout to me. I really enjoyed Veni's work in the earlier rounds. And what I like about Veni is that it's almost just like a shut up and work, shut up and fight. There isn't as much of the show, the pre-show. Veni is like strictly business.
Yes.
Veni's got some great kicks, great flips, and can sell really well, and is very impressive. So I think this is someone that I would like to see more of on AEW Dark or television in the women's division for sure, because this would be, and she could easily fit in a tag team, and I think they would be mesh well. Not many competitors have that kind of skill set that Veni has, and so you can really have 2 competitors complement each other with Veni and someone else. Maybe you tag with someone over here on the US side, or you have a Japanese style tag, whatever it may be. Impressed me for sure. And this match, any 6-man has some chaotic moments, but it ended well. And then afterwards, you just saw, Emi looking strong again, even beating up her own tag partner. So she's really leaning into that heel stuff. So
I like that.
It was a good match, and it's just was a good opener because you needed to show face of the Japanese side, so we can kind of continue to remember them for the U.S. market, if the U.S. viewers who are not too familiar with them. Plus, have Shida look strong leading up to her match, because we haven't seen her in the ring since the Abaddon match.
Yes, so said on that too.
We needed to see that.
My wife and I were sitting here watching this one, and she's the perfect, I think, guinea pig for this, because she knows that I'm obsessed with this stuff. But she doesn't know, she's much more of a casual viewer. And I felt like, she said it herself, man. Shida definitely looks the most. She stood out in a very positive way in this match. And
very comfortable in the ring.
Yes, and she's got. I mean, Shida's got great size. Her striking, it stands out in a good way. In that, like, she throws that, like, there's some intensity and some fierceness in her strikes. I've always liked that about Shida's game, but I felt like this match did a nice job, considering this tournament is really building towards who gets the opportunity to face Shida. This was really a great showcase for Shida, in that she, when you put her in the ring with a Maki Ito, right, her size and her no-nonsense approach is such a contrast to some of that over-the-top, silly kind of, fun, but a little silly stuff that you see on the other side. And I thought that Shida's seriousness, her intensity, her strength, her striking, all of that really put a nice spotlight on the champion as we prep towards the finals at Revolution. I thought that was this served its purpose in that. And I agree with you, SPD. Obviously, it got more opportunities for the Japanese talent that we were introduced to, and that's a good thing. Speaking of the Japanese talent, let's move into the next match. This was the finals. This was the semifinals on the Japanese side.
Finals.
Yeah, sorry. This is the semifinals overall, right? But this is the finals on the Japanese side. What were your thoughts on this match? You got that graphic up? Yeah. So Yuka versus Rio. Very, very different styles of in-ring performer. Could not be more different when it comes to sort of that bubbly, fun, just energetic baby face in Yuka versus really a no-nonsense hard hitter in Rio. What were your takeaways on this one?
Honestly, I expected a little bit more out of the finals at the Japan side. Yuka Sakazaki, to me, had a stronger outing earlier in the tournament, and same with Rio Mizunami. And I expected Yuka to come out on top, personally.
I'm a Yuka fan.
And me too. And, I don't know, the announcers were kind of selling maybe a little injury because she had some like KT tape on her neck. I don't know what's going on, but both competitors are worthy of a finals, but I think they performed better earlier in this tournament overall. This match had some nice high-flying spots from Yuka and some really ground and pound and the typical stuff that we've seen. But to me, it didn't really stand out. They both stood out to me earlier in the tournament. So them going head-to-head, I expected more storytelling and a little harder hitting. But overall, Rio Mizunami coming out on top and being the number one contender, I think it's a good placement because she's, the announcers did a good team. Props to Taz and Excalibur because they're on fire tonight and they really did a great job holding everything together. But whoever does come out, whether it be Nyla or Thunder, this is a good competitor to go against. And if it is Nyla, you have a little bit bigger component. Or if you have Thunder versus Rio, then it's essentially Thunder is could beat someone a little bit bigger and really solidify her as a strong, true champion,
Yeah, and for me, I'm looking at this obviously, and again, I admit I'm looking at this through the lens of as an AEW America, like North America. I'm rooting for Team USA. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not, right? And going into it, I was geeked out about our side of the tournament. SPD, you made a very bold take earlier on in Dynamite Download history where you said, Team USA, man, you were so proud, and you look at our side and you think we are absolutely stacked. And I could not agree with you more. For me, I look at this through that lens, right? So when I see the way this tournament is starting to shape up, you see Thunder Rosa. She's going to now beat Riho, who is a former champion, first champion for AEW. going up against Nyla Rose, who could you pick a more intimidating or like scary opponent? And if somehow Thunder can get past Nyla, then you have her go against Rio, who's really sort of that gatekeeper on the Japan side, so that no nonsense, gonna punch you in the mouth type of opponent for Thunder. I really am looking. I think that this is setting a pathway where Thunder can really come out of this tournament looking like a giant slayer, looking like an absolute megastar, and primed for that title match against Shida. Now, who knows what happens? Obviously, we saw Maddie Rinkowski ringside cheering on Thunder for this one. We know that anytime Thunder Rosa is in AEW spotlight, Britt Baker is going to be looking right over her shoulder, wanting to take that away from her. So we certainly are excited about what could happen if Britt keeps her nose out of it. And if Thunder gets to go clean into these matchups, we have a lot of confidence that Thunder can pull this out. Let's talk about that match, right? Because to me, this was obviously the main event. This was obviously something that I was looking forward to all weekend. I mean, truly, I forgot how much I enjoyed Riho until we got to see her against Serena Deeb, and what an incredible match that was.
Yeah,
live, we got to see that baby. But to see Thunder Rosa, I mean, again, this is not a slight on the rest of this show, but it's speaking to my personal preference as a fan, as somebody who watches professional wrestling. I love the intensity, the seriousness, the focus, the fire that Thunder Rosa wrestles a match with. It's so consistent from the minute you hear that theme song, man. I know we're not the only ones who love Thunder's theme. It just gets you jumping, want to jump off the couch and start headbanging. From the minute she burst on the scene, dude, like it's just, she is pedal to the metal, bro. And I love seeing that. It's such a difference. And that's where, again, the earlier stuff, great, right? But this stood out in such a way for me because you're not going to see her dancing and singing in the middle of a match. You're just not going to see that, bro. Like she's in there ready to break somebody's arm. And I love that about Thunder's matches, man. This was an incredible one. You talked about it to me before we jumped on, SPD, how impressed you were with Riho, though, in this one, too. Her strength for her size. I know that you're always blown away by Thunder's pound for pound, how strong Thunder Rosa is.
Right.
But Riho, too, like, she held her own, man. You know that, like, you're going to war when you step in the ring with Thunder, and Riho definitely held her own.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you look at Riho, and I mean, if you're a casual fan, you don't think she could do the things that she can do for her build. And she is very strong. She can pick those people up and do those nice high flying moves and really put someone down. I mean, she slayed the native beast. So, for a reason. And so, but Thunder, like you said, the ultimate giant killer, you have her, she first round beat Layla Hirsch. She is a tough, up and coming, good addition to the AEW women's division. Now she just beat the first ever champion. And then next she's on slate to beat the second ever champion. And then she'd be on slate to beat the third champion and become the fourth champion. So she's really lining them up, knocking down the champions, to solidify her.
Well said, SPD.
She absolutely, to me, even after I watched the first round of the Japanese side and the first round of the US side, I felt confident that the US side would come out on top, just because of the style that I like to watch is the more physical, ground and pound, and really like a true fight. A little less. There's a time and place for showmanship and stuff like that, and show off and putting on that show. But a tournament for the title, this seemed like the US side is just dialed in. They're leaving the fireworks and stuff behind, and the singing and dancing, which, like I said, a time and place for all that. Right. But when you have a tournament,
when you have a top prize in the world on the line, you want, like, if I'm Tony Khan and I'm sitting here and I'm watching it, I mean, as if I needed another reason to believe that Thunder Rosa could be the face of this division, right? As if I needed another reason for that. This is an example, dude. Like, when you have the top prize in the business on the line, an opportunity for that, you want to see your fighters fight with that kind of mentality. And we talked to Thunder before, and I know that's something SPD, you and I have been really beating the table for from day one since we've seen Thunder break through on AEW television is, man, there's something different about Thunder, man. Like she brings that MMA, like that, like I'm not here to have fun and make the crowd clap along happily. Like I want to hurt somebody and I want to win. And Thunder in kind of won in a non-traditional way. She won with a smart, like veteran roll-up this time.
Right.
It showed that Thunder's not only a fierce competitor, but she's a smart one too. And that is a testimony to her experience and why she's not only one of the top stars in the world, but one of the top trainers and top teachers in the world too. It's just, and why she was one of your picks for if you could start a promotion from scratch, she would be in your top 3. So I get it. I mean, the
accolades that we're giving her at Dynamite Download are through the roof. I mean, we support her 100%. I mean, we picked her for our breakout star of 2021, and what better way to kick off the first quarter of 2021 for her to win this tournament. And then, just the stuff she's doing inside and outside the ring, but inside the ring tonight, man, brutal, man. The triple suplex, I don't think we've seen that on AEW television before out of her. I couldn't remember. So, and I really like that. And then a brutal kick to Rio's face, and right after that third suplex. But she's a true professional, and she can adapt to so many different opponents. Mm-hmm. And we talked to Maddie about this. And every match we've seen her with, like the Layla match was completely different. The Britt match was completely different. Now this match, we saw a lot of different things as well. She can adapt. She does her homework, and we're gonna see a whole different side of her tomorrow versus Nyla. And I think
the Battle of the Roses.
That's right, the Battle of the Roses for sure.
I'm excited about that one.
I think the only way that Thunder loses this is with a DMD interference.
Right. And I'm a Brit fan, but I'm hoping and praying she stays far away from this one because I want to see Thunder get a shot one-on-one clean against Nyla because honestly, like you just said, man, talking to Maddie Renkowski like we did, and that's sort of someone who's a protege who's studying under Thunder. I hope that Maddie and the wrestling world is watching because Maddie brought this to our forefront, and really, it's stuck with me. Every interview we have, something really sticks with me. This is one of those things where Maddie talked about it, and it's like the strongest, the best weapon that a fighter has going into a fight is not their muscles, it's their mind. It's their mind. If you have a smart fighter who can analyze their opponent's weaknesses, adapt and change their own game and take on their opponent and change their approach to the match to tailor specify for that opponent, that circumstance, that match, that elevates somebody to a whole nother level, man. I mean, I'm all for seeing what Thunder can do given, she's used to, like you talked about, dude, she's used to in a lot of these matches. They've been a lot of martial arts. There's been a lot of ground and pound. In a lot of ways, Thunder, you've talked about it, bro. She's the strongest pound for pound person in AEW. She's going to go
by that for sure. 100%.
That strength is going to be tested tomorrow. Like when she gets to go against Nyla Rose, I know that pushed Britt Baker to a place where she was uncomfortable. We saw Britt get frustrated, throwing garbage cans around, throwing a temper tantrum. I have a feeling that Thunder is not going to let herself get rattled. She might get frustrated at times during that match.
Right.
But as we've seen time and time again, when Thunder gets a roadblock in front of her, when Thunder gets an obstacle in front of her, she doesn't stay down. She gets right back up. And I got a feeling that Nyla's going to be throwing around her power. She's going to be like really hossing it up. And I have a feeling that Thunder's going to be like that ping. She's going to be coming back for more, brother. She's going to be ping pong ball, bro. It's going to be great to see. Cannot wait for that one. That one's going to be a banger of a match.
It's going to be an outstanding match for sure. And I hope it's just this complete brawl for 20, 25 minutes.
Beat the crap out of each other.
That's what's so great about these. These being not on Dynamite, there's no time restriction. So that's a nice little bonus for all that. But the two ways that I'm thinking this through, the way it goes out, I think if Thunder comes out on top, which 100% I want her to take this whole thing, you know, she was my pick, and I think you could agree if it was either Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa taking this whole tournament.
Agreed.
Is she'll make Nyla Rose tap out in some brutal armbar or something like that, or Nyla takes the victory with a DMD interference. That being said, you know, we unfortunately don't see Thunder advance, but we're going to see a continuation of a feud that we absolutely love, that we absolutely think and should main event a Dynamite or pay-per-view or anything with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. So I think it's going to be a win-win regardless.
Yep.
But we can talk later on about the Sheeta match.
Yeah, you know, let's talk. I mean, honestly, dude, I think that you're right too, man. I think that like with Thunder, this next match against Thunder and Nyla, and Nyla, like we know that one's going to be incredible, right? But if Thunder makes it to the finals, right, which we think that she should, I think that she's the favorite, right? Either there's really no bad possible outcome in that regard, right? Either Thunder potentially gets a match with Sheeta, and we know that one will be incredible at Revolution, and it potentially then she becomes the world champion, which we'd be geeked for, right? Or Britt gets involved somehow, costs that an opportunity, and there have been a lot of things that have thrown some wood on the fire of that feud. You know, the Maddie getting beat down like she did, get humiliated like she did. Even the little things on social media, Britt posting nasty comments towards Thunder and stuff like that. Those have been throwing logs on the fire of this feud, right? But if Britt
sprinkling a little gas.
Oh, dude, if Britt cost Thunder the championship, that feud, she'd be taking she'd just be throwing a propane tank on that freaking fire, bro. I know the Thunder's from Texas. They do propane and propane accessories down there in Texas. And if that's the case, Britt might as well just take a whole thing of gasoline, just dump oh my God, Thunder's going to want to kill her. I don't know what I want to see more. I really don't. I mean, because I would love to see Britt versus Thunder. Just those two just want to tear each other apart. That feud has been my favorite feud in AEW. And honestly, since probably Moxley versus Kingston. I mean, that feud has been just absolute money, man. I love it. So, yeah, no, this tournament has actually been a really good thing, and I really enjoy what AEW is doing with like offering us different opportunities and different chances to see talent. And like you just talked about, without the pressure or time constraints or commercial breaks. Yeah, I know you hate that picture-in-picture, bro. I do. Without that picture-in-picture, man, like Bleacher Report, YouTube, like we get an opportunity to really see these matches without the interruptions, without the pressure of time constraints. It really allows the performers to breathe. And I think if you get to see Thunder Rosa and Nyla in that kind of unhinged environment, I think it's going to be a banger of a match. Like I said, I think that those two are going to tear each other apart. It's going to be a blast.
Yes, I completely agree, man. This is a lot of fun, and we can't wait for tomorrow. And make sure you follow us on social. We're going to be live tweeting this match for sure.
No doubt.
We won't be doing a post show as of now, but you'll see us next talking about all this on Dynamite Download
Wednesday
night live after the show. So this was a nice Sunday evening show, and I can't wait for tomorrow. A busy day. You know, we're going to kick things off early with BTE, and then we got we're going to be locked in from 6 to 8 or 6 to 7:30, hopefully, with the Road 2 and then the finals match. So we're crossing our fingers. We're really hoping for a Thunder victory and for her to advance to the finals of this, because she absolutely deserves it. The hardest worker in the room for sure.
Beaming ear to ear, man. I mean, I'm really loving being an AEW fan, man. It's just absolutely like, it's awesome to see this company grow. It's awesome to see these performers the way they've been. If you like what you're seeing here with Dynamite Download, if you like the positive environment that we try to promote, and we try to be fair. I mean, like I'm not like not trying to be like anything. I'm not like, we were honest. Like this is who we are, and yet like we can navigate matches that aren't our favorite things in the whole world, but we can always see. Like I talked to you about that this morning.
Yeah.
Always look for the positive. Always look for that growth, that potential in somebody, because no matter what, they might not be a finished product yet, but there is potential there if you look. And I think that across the board tonight, there were opportunities and nuggets of potential that we saw. We're excited about. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you share Dynamite Download with your friends. Get out there, folks. Share it. Talk about it. We look forward to talking to you guys more on social, and we cannot wait for Wednesday night as normal, where we get back into things with Dynamite Download. Thanks again, everybody, for joining us on this special edition on Sunday. Hope you have an incredible start to your week. Mondays are always rough, but at least AEW is making it a little easier on us, right?
Absolutely.